Hi everyone, so let's start next question. 550 gameplay analysis 4. So we have already completed gameplay analysis 1, 2 and 3. So this is of type medium and we are given 4 columns: player ID, device ID, event date and games played. So I'll quickly walk you through the table. So this player ID 1, he on a particular date he used device ID 2 and he played 5 games. Then on next day again he used device ID 2 and played 6 games. Then the player ID 2, he logged in on this date and using this device ID and played 1 game. And similarly for player ID 3, on this date he used device ID 1 and played 0 games. So we have to write a solution to report the fraction of players that logged in again on the day after the day they first logged in, rounded to 2 decimal places. In other words, you need to count the number of players that logged in for at least 2 consecutive days starting from the first login date. Then divide that number by the total number of players. So let's see what we have to find out. So this player ID 1, he first logged in this one. So his first login date will be the state. Similarly for this player ID, although he logged in later, but his first login date will be again this one, and he logged in just after his first login. So these dates are consecutive. Let's look for this device ID 2. So he first logged in on this date and then he did not logged in immediately. So the minimum date although is this one, but there is no consecutive one. Let's look for player ID 3. So he logged in on 0302 and next time he logged in at 0703. So this is also not consecutive. So we know that only one player out of these three is consecutive, which is player ID 1, and then we have to divide this by total number of players. So total number of players are 1, 2 and 3, as we have to count the distinct player. So the answer will be 1 divided by 3, which is 0.3333 something, but we have to round this to 2 decimal places, so we have to return 0.33. So now let's see how we can do this one. So the first approach for solving this one is, first we have to get the first login date for every player. Select from activity and then we have to get, for each player we are getting the minimum date. So we can use first value window function, first value, and we want to get the first value of event date and we want to get this for every player. So it will be over partition by player ID and we want to get it on the order of event date. So it will be order date, event date, and this will be my first login. Let's see if this is working or not. So for player ID 1 I am expecting this value, for player ID 2 I am expecting this, for player ID 3 I am expecting this. So first I am just running this one. Okay, so we are getting this value. So what I can do here is I can put event date and then first login. So if we look at this one, so for player ID 1, for the first time the event date will be same as first login. For the second time when he will be logging in, the first login will be 0301 and this will be the current date. But if we look at the pattern, then if we get the difference of these two dates and if the difference will be 1, it means that the dates are consecutives and then we can get the count of player. But if you'll see for the next ones, here the difference will be 0 because this is first login, and here the difference again will be 0 because this is first login for player ID 3, and here the difference will be more than 1 and it will not be the consecutive date. So what we can do, we can put this in the CTE and we can just count. So what we have to count, we have to count the player IDs where this event date and first login difference is 1. So it will be date def function and event date comma first login will be 1, but this will only give me the player IDs, distinct player IDs, where, or I can use distinct here, both will be same, distinct player IDs who have logged in immediately after their first login, and then we have to get the count of all the player IDs, so it will be select count distinct player ID from the table name, which is activity. So if I do this, I'll get the fraction. So I'm getting the fraction, but I need to return it to the 2 decimal places. So first I'll give it as alias as fraction, and then we just have to round this one, so it will be round. We have to round it to 2 decimal places. Let's run this one. So our test case is got accepted. Let's submit it. It also got submitted. Thank you.